draft is only a couple days away. In this video, I will be giving you my top 10 player rankings. Alright, well, before we start this video, I just want to give a huge congratulations to Tampa Bay Lightning, who won the Stanley Cup. What a fantastic series that was between them and Dallas. I believe there's a couple overtime games. Dallas, was giving them a nice run, but Tampa was just too good this year. Congratulations to them. And I just want to make this clear before I start this video. This is my personal draft rankings. It's not a mock draft. Just because the player's number 10 doesn't mean that the team we're picking 10th is going to take them. These are the 10 best players, I think, that are in this draft right now. Obviously, it's my opinion. Everybody's got a different opinion. That's the beauty of scouting, and I'd love to hear your guys. So if you just want to leave it in the comment section below of your rankings or what you think, who I should, maybe should we have seen number 6 to number 10 or whatnot. I would love to have a conversation with you guys about that. And again, if you want to follow me on Twitter at @SacrificeHidden, that'd be fantastic. I did a poll on there for what kind of video I want to do, and this one won. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get right into it. Number 10, we have Yaroslav Askarov. He's obviously a goaltender who plays for SKA Neva St. Petersburg in the VHL, which I believe is the AHL of the KHL. He's 6'3", 176 pounds. Obviously, there hasn't been a goaltender ranked this high since Carey Price. Spencer Knight was taken pretty high out of the Florida Panthers, but I do expect Askarov to be taken in the top 10, if not shortly after. He uses his body frame extremely well. He's always in position to make a save. He's excellent rebound control. It's fantastic, his rebound control. He's always keeping his head's always on a swivel, and by that I mean he's always aware of where each player is on the ice. So the puck could be coming down, he could be looking this way, and he knows there's a player on that side and that side of him. So he's always ready to push over and whatnot. The only knock I really have on him is that he kind of drops down a little bit too early at times. Normally leaving the higher areas of the net exposed, but it's pretty easy to correct that, and I believe as the time goes on, he's going to develop into a he'll be able to fix that. In my personal opinion, he has all the tools and skill to become a franchise goaltender, and whoever takes him, obviously goaltenders develop at a longer rate than players. So I don't expect it, step in next year, even the year after that, and become like a stud right away. Like 3-4 years down the line is when you'll probably see him in the NHL. But I do think he will become a franchise-altering goaltender for wherever it takes him. This next one might surprise a bit of people, but probably not. I have Anton Lundell from HIFK in the Finnish League, which is also known as the Liga. He's 6'1", 187 pounds. Lundell is well known for his play in the defensive zone. He has incredible positioning, and his hockey sense is top notch. He's aware of where everyone is on the ice at all times, realizes when a play is starting, so that way, he can see a play starting to develop, and he kind of gets into position to either, if it's in the defensive zone, he's trying to protect the puck, he can see where, like a play develops, he can get in there and, intercept, take away the puck or cover the guy that the puck's going to. But in the same thing in the offensive zone, he can, if a player has the puck, he can kind of see a play developing around him and kind of get in an open position, and he pretty much create a scoring chance. He's super strong on his feet, and he's not afraid to get into the corners. That's what I really like about him. He's pretty hard to knock off the puck once he has it, and he's, puck goes in the corner, he's not afraid to get in there. The only thing that, he does lack some explosiveness, which isn't the worst thing, but it does affect his top speed, and in which he can go from offense to defense. His first couple strides, they're not the greatest, they're still there, but I'd like to see him, be able to, the first couple strides transition from offense to defense really quick. I do predict Lundell to be a solid 6, like a solid top 6 contributor in his in his time in the NHL. I don't know if it'll be next season or the year after that, but eventually he will become that. And I know this isn't a mock draft at all, but I think Lundell's a perfect fit for the Minnesota Wild. I think he just fits everything that Minnesota stands for. And I just see him doing really well in a Wild uniform, so I will be rooting for them to take him. Again, this is a mock draft. I'm not saying he's going there, but I just think he suits their system and will fit perfectly well for him. Next up in my rankings is number 8, and I have Alexander Holtz from Djurgårdens IF in the SHL, which is equivalent to the KHL and the NHL, just in Sweden. Not equivalent in skill, but equivalent in same league. like the highest league in Sweden, I should say. He's 6 feet exact. He's 183 pounds. And arguably he's probably the best goal scorer in this draft. I know I'm probably gonna get some the different opinions in the comment section, but he can score. His shot is fantastic. He has a very powerful release that every time he shoots a puck, it's so accurate. Where if he shoots a puck and he knows he wants to shoot, it's gonna go there pretty much 90% of the time. And every time he has a puck, honestly, he's a threat to score. Even if he doesn't have the puck, he finds a way to get open, and his release is just so good that when he gets the puck, look out, goaltenders. His first couple steps, again, same with Lundell. His first couple steps need improvement, which would help with his defensive game, because transition is a big part of the game nowadays, true to speed. And the first couple steps are super important for that. Stopping right away in the offensive zone to go back in the defensive zone. He also isn't very physical, which he is 6 feet, so I don't expect him to be too physical, and he can score pretty much whenever he wants. But in the defensive zone, obviously with the lack of explosiveness and the lack of physicality, his hockey sense makes up for that, but I would like to see him get a bit stronger, a bit more physical in the corners. And again, I project Holtz to be a top 6 forward, and I believe he will be a staple in the first power play. He's just a natural goal scorer, and whatever team drafts him, he'll be on the power play unit, top power play unit, and contribute, I believe, a lot of goals. Again, I don't think he's NHL ready this season, maybe not even next season, but he maybe next season, just because his pure goal and score ability alone. But I do see him as a top 6 forward when he does get to the NHL. All right, and at number 7 we have Perfetti from the Saginaw Spirit. He's 5'10", 185 pounds. He's an incredibly smart player. Honestly, when you watch him, the thing that stands out to me the most is his hockey sense and his hockey smarts. He's always 3 steps ahead of the game. He's always seen plays develop way early, so he's always able to play, which also makes his defensive game really good too. He can see plays develop even before they develop, probably even before some players on the opposing team knows it happens. He just pretty much adjusts seamlessly. When you're watching him, he knew the play was going to be there before it even happened. And in the offensive zone, he's a dual threat. His defensive game I just talked about. He's very good defensively because his hockey sense is off the charts. But when he's in the offensive zone, he's a dual threat. His playmaking ability is insane. He can score whatever he can pretty much score whenever he gets the puck. But his playmaking ability, I believe, is a bit better than his scoring ability. But literally every time he touches the puck, he becomes a threat. His biggest drawback to me is probably his skating. Again with the first steps, I'm a big first steps guy. I think it's super important, especially in the NHL with the speed and how quick the game transitions. I think the first couple steps you take is massive. But he lacks explosiveness, and his top speed is not it's not terrible. It's not bad at all, but it's nowhere near the top speed of some of the players in this draft. Which his hockey sense kind of makes up for the lack of that, because he can kind of be in a play without having to play catch up all the time. I honestly don't think I see Perfetti probably as a top 3 forward. In a couple of years, he'll probably start off at the bottom 9, to go top 6. But I think he is capable of being a top 3 forward and will contribute for whatever team drafts him for many years to come. And he'll be just an excellent 2-way player. I wouldn't even be surprised if he gets a Selke nomination in his future either. So. It's going to be a couple of OHL guys coming up here, but number 6, I have Jamie Drysdale from the Erie Otters. He's the only defenseman I have on this chart. He's the best defenseman available in this draft, in my opinion. He's 5'11", 170 pounds. He's one, if not the smoothest skater in this draft. Just watching Drysdale skate is like watching a perfectly executed tic-tac toe goal. You just sit and you're like, wow, that was insane. Again, I mentioned he's the best defenseman available in this draft. His ability to control the game and to transition from offense to defense and vice versa is fantastic. His playmaking ability and the way he finds his teammates in large crowded areas is also very impressive. He'll be on the blue line, waiting, try and create a play, and he'll make a pass. He's like, "Why do you do that?" But the puck gets there's 2 defenders in front of a guy, and he'll somehow get it through to his player. He's really fun to watch, and his skating just makes him a threat in the offensive zone, a threat in the defensive zone. Again, his defensive game needs a bit more improvement, just the way he controls the gap between him and some the forwards come down, and he kind of he's either too far away where you should make a play first, or that just needs a bit more work. But with his skating and his his vision and his hockey sense, that should be pretty easy to catch up once he gets to the NHL level. I think personally he has the potential to be an elite defender in today's NHL. He's kind of the modern day NHL skater. He kind of reminds me of like a younger Erik Karlsson, maybe not as good, but he's just perfect for today's NHL. And I predict him to be a top 2 pairing D-man that's capable of QBing any power play in the future. Obviously not right away. You're not going to throw a 17, 18-year-old into quarterbacking your power play. I mean, you could, but I just don't think he's there yet. But I believe, as he gets familiar with the league and, familiar with his teammates and whatnot, he will be a very, very, very good defender. The top 5, here we go. So number 5, it's Marco Rossi from the Ottawa 67s. I had the privilege to work in the OHL. And working for the Frontenacs, Kingston Frontenacs, I've had the ability to watch him a lot of times since Ottawa Kingston meet a lot during the regular season. He's 5'9", 179 pounds. I've been able to watch Rossi quite a bit. His work ethic and determination to get better and just learn the game is insane to me. The guy never takes a shift off. He's always out there creating plays, whether it's he's in the corners fighting for the puck, or his work ethic. He just always wants to get better. It's crazy, and that's honestly, if you have that drive and determination, you will succeed in the NHL somehow, some way. So that's why he's number 5 on my list. I was debating between him and Drysdale, but just his work ethic and determination alone is what makes him a number 5. Obviously, he led the OHL and CHL in points with 120 points in 52 games. So that obviously speaks his volume that he's able to contribute offensively pretty much whenever he wants. His offensive ability isn't the only tool he has in his arsenal, though. Obviously he's very capable in both sides of the ice. If it's a game's on the line and you need a goal scorer, you can put Rossi on. If the game's on the line and you need a big face-off win, or the game's on the line and Rossi's playing a wing and you just need him to be solid defensively, he will be out there. When he's that good that he can pretty much play anytime, anywhere, and any place on the ice. Again, his head's always on a swivel too, so you'll probably hear me say head on a swivel a lot. But just the ability to move your head like this and just see the plays develop, and just kind of his vision on the ice is wild. I'm a big fan of Rossi's game. The only downfall that I have, and honestly it's not really a downfall to me because I don't put as much emphasis on it, is his size. Obviously at 5'9", he's a bit smaller, and obviously in today's NHL that's not that big of a deal. You see a lot of small players playing extremely well and being one of the top players in the league most of the time, but I know some scouts will shy away from him because of it. I would definitely have Rossi a bit higher, but again, I don't put too much emphasis on his size, but I know that will be a knockback, and I do think that it will be tough for him to get used to it right away in the NHL, but with his hockey sense and just his determination and work ethic, he'll be, honestly, I think he'll be a top player on the team that drafts him. I think he'll be a top three player, whether he plays center or wing, or wherever he plays. He's going to be a top 3 player that's going to have a very long and good and successful NHL career. Again, I'm going to keep going back to it. His work ethic and determination and just his skills together with all that combined, he's going to make it in the NHL no matter what. So. Alright, now we're getting to number 4. I have Lucas Raymond at number 4 from Lunda HC in the SHL. He's 5'10", 165 pounds, and honestly, Lucas Raymond is probably one of my favorite players in this draft class, at least in this top 10. His speed is the one thing that stands out to me. He's fast, real fast. I can't even really describe it, but he's when you watch him, he's fast. His footwork is incredible. He has a great first stride. Again, first stride is super important for me. With a great first stride, it makes him, the big beating defender seem so easy because he can be skating, waiting for the puck, especially on a breakout, and he gets the puck and just goes. That's his explosiveness is really, really good. And his vision and playmaking abilities are also top tier. He's pretty much a defender's worst nightmare with his speed, his playmaking abilities, his vision, his hockey sense. If a defender sees him coming down, something's gonna happen. Unless, obviously this is the biggest knock, and he's not. If you're physical against him, he will you'll be able to stop him. Obviously, you know, his strength's obviously going to improve. That's probably going to be an area that the team that drafts him tells him to work on. But, you know, the speed, his hockey sense, and everything else, it's not necessarily the worst thing. But I would like to see him get a bit stronger, just, you know, so he can hold the puck, and, you know, just be a bit more physical. And just like I mentioned, his speed and skating and just pure talent he has as a hockey player in general. And with the NHL getting faster, his speed is gonna be a very, very big asset. I think he's gonna be a very good player in the NHL. Probably likely a top 3 forward role, depending on the team. You know, depending on the team that drafts him, he's likely probably gonna be in the 4 to 7 range. Probably I'd probably say he's gonna go. I can't see him dropping any further than that. If he does, that's gonna be incredible for the team that gets him. But anywhere than that, but I think he's gonna be a top 3 forward, and he's gonna be able to contribute very shortly in the NHL. I don't think, and if they're gonna be able to do it, the only way I can see him making the NHL this year is with his speed alone. But I can see him next year definitely making the roster to camp, and definitely contributing right out of the gate. So that's why I have my number 4. And number 3, I have Tim Stutzle, or Tim Stutzle. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, but I'm going to go with Tim Stutzle. And he's from Adler Mannheim in the DEL, which is the German league, the top German league. He's 6 feet, 187 pounds, and I know I said Raymond's one of my favorites, but Stutzle is my personal favorite in this draft. I just love watching him so much. He's literally like, I'm just getting a little excited talking about him. But the first thing I really noticed when I started watching him is his skating, his two-step quickness, his edge work. You know, he just makes him eligible. Like, he's able to move around the ice with ease without pretty much any difficulty at all. His first 2 steps are fantastic. The way he turns, and you know, his feet, his edge work, like I just said, but the way he plays with his skates going on the edge and stuff like that, it's really fun to watch, and it just kind of makes it so seamless, and skating just kind of looks like it's no effort at all. He can pretty much go wherever he wants, and just with that alone, he's pretty easy to outmaneuver defenders. But the one thing that really catches me out, amazes me with him, is that he's able to make really good plays at top speed. He doesn't need to slow down to make a play. Obviously, you know, if he slows down and analyzes, he's going to make bigger plays. But if he's going top speed, he can still make a play happen no matter what. And his speed is very, very good, just for the record. And his hockey sense is really good as well. He can see openings that close quickly, but takes advantage of them before they do. So, you know, in the defensive zone, for example, if you know it's a 3-on-2 or whatever, you know, you can see another guy, or 2-on-2, and you can see the third player come down for a one-time or whatnot. He'll be able to see that before the puck even gets there and kind of get in position. And same with offense. He can come off the bench and kind of see a play developing just as he gets off the bench and kind of get in position to make something happen. Whether it's a scoring opportunity, whether, you know, it's a nice pass, whether he just makes something happen. And pretty much every time he has the puck, his vision is just going to allow him to create highlight reels. Every time he has the puck, he's probably going to create a highlight reel at least once a game, maybe even, you know, once every 2 games. But he's just able to create highlight reels pretty much wherever he wants. You know, whether it's a 6 saucer pass, a 2-on-1, and a nice little 6 saucer pass, or, you know, a quick one-timer, it's going to be a highlight reel play. And honestly, he's, like I said, he's so much fun to watch on a daily basis. He also plays with men in the DL. I know I didn't mention that for Raymond or Lundell or any of the European guys, because, you know, they tend to play in the top leagues. But the reason why I didn't really mention the other guys is they're not getting as many minutes as he is. He's getting top line minutes in a top, I wouldn't say a top tier league, but a top league in his country. And the only real drawback, honestly, that I can find with Tim's game is that sometimes he likes to do too much with the puck. You know, he goes in there and he tries to hold on to it a little bit more and then ends up losing it, or he tries to force a play that happens when he doesn't, just only because he holds on to it so much in a play that already happened. Kind of, it's like he feels the need to do everything himself. And obviously, you know, he's not going to be, he's in the DL isn't as skilled as the KHL, the SHL, the Liga, or the NHL. So when he gets to the NHL, you can have a lot more better players. No, not just players at all, his teammates at all, but I hope when he transitions to the NHL, it's going to change a bit. And again, the other knock, you could say he plays in the DEL, which, I mean, you could say that, but it's still top line minutes in a league with men. So And I honestly just can't wait to see him in the NHL. Like I said, I've been raving about this guy. He's probably the longest scouting report I have right now, but he's my favorite player that I've watched. And you know, just every time I watch, I literally tune into his games just to watch him, just for entertainment purposes. And I think he's honestly going to be an elite forward whose name we recognize quite easily throughout his career. Leon Drysdale is also German, and Stutzle's German. I think those two will be the top 2 German players in the league for a long time. And number 2, I mean, it's kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty, but I have Quinton Byfield from the Sudbury Wolves. He's 6'4", 214 pounds. And honestly, this one could have either went to Tim Stutzle or Byfield, but the reason why I chose Byfield here is just I think Byfield has a higher ceiling than Stutzle. Stutzle's an amazing player, but I just think Byfield with his raw athletic ability, his size right now, his ceiling is just way higher. And obviously he dominated the OHL last season. His body and size, like a 6 foot at 214 pounds at 17 years old. Don't worry, he uses it so well too. He just made sure that he was dominant in the NHL, which he did. Honestly, and for a big guy, like you think his skating would take a hit, but no, his skating is pretty good. Obviously, his speed, his speed is actually really impressive for a guy at 6 feet, or 6'4", sorry. It's crazy. He's pretty much comparable to Raymond, Stutzle, and Drysdale. Maybe not like right at the same level, but he's right there with his top speed. His huge frame allows him to take such powerful strides that's kind of what creates the top speed. In his first 2 steps, and he's pretty much halfway across the ice already. He has such a powerful stride. And obviously being a 6'4", his ability to protect the puck is really good. The ability to take the puck and create havoc in front of the net, or make a play happen. Just because of his size alone, I really like that for Byfield, and just with all the tools he has, he's just a natural. Like it's natural, like 214 pounds, 6'4", that's natural. That's not. He has a very good frame, and he's just naturally skilled at hockey. So the one thing I do wish to see from Byfield, and it's not necessarily a knock, is that I just want to see him being more physical. He uses his body really well. Like he can box out opponents and kind of use that to create plays and create space on the ice. But I want to see a bit more physical, maybe a bit more strength. Just allow him to hold on the puck a bit longer. Maybe go into the puck in the corner and win the puck battles more often and come out. I want to see him being more aggressive and more physical in the corners. Throw the body every now and then. I'm sure he does it, but every time I watch him, I haven't seen much of that. Which you don't necessarily need to be physical, but with a big body like yours, I like to see him kind of be in the corner and kind of use his body to tire up the other guys, top line guys. So. And honestly, he's going to be an elite center in the NHL one day. I believe he has the tools to be a real dominant player in the league. Again, he's a year, maybe even, he's probably a year. He could make the NHL this year, in my opinion, but I don't think it would hurt him at all to go play somewhere else. I don't necessarily think the OHL is the right place for him. He's just too dominant, and I don't think that'll really help his development. Maybe the team that drafts him will send him to Europe for a season. Or just throws in the NHL right away. Those are the only really options I can see. Maybe he goes plays in the USHL as well. This is a different league that he can kind of develop in. Because he's pretty much done everything in the OHL. He just needs to win a championship, but he's dominant. Obviously, you've seen him. I know people knock him for his role in Team Canada's World Juniors. He's never a really good World Juniors. He wasn't used. Like he's a 17-year-old in the World Juniors. Like not very many 17-year-olds get played a lot. So I think you'll see him have a bigger role as he gets older into that tournament. Here we go, the big number 1. Drum roll, please. Surprise! It's Alexis Lafreniere from Rimouski. It's not like, it's not less than like a big culminating thing. Everybody expects him to be there. He's the best player available in this job by far. He plays for Rimouski Oceanic. He's 6'1", 192 pounds. He's an elite talent who has incredible vision, and his greatest strength is in his puck skills. Every time he has a puck, you can almost bet your house that an offensive chance will be generated. Not a goal, but just an offensive chance. So, you know, a shot on net, a goal scoring opportunity. Every time he hits the puck, something will likely happen. And like I said, you can bet your house on that pretty much. He also has a smarts to invade any defender who comes across him, whether he's a one-on-one or even a 1-on-5. He's just that smart with the puck. He can kind of maneuver his way around. Obviously, you know, 1-on-5 is a very rare situation. It will likely never happen, but it's kind of just an exaggeration of how smart he is. Obviously, he scored 112 points in 52 games this season, which honestly, this one surprised me. Not points, but that he was the highest. He had the highest scoring rate for a QMJHL draft eligible player since Sidney Crosby. And the funny thing is, Sidney Crosby and Alexis Lafreniere both played on the same team. They both played for Rimouski, but he's that good. He's second to Sidney Crosby right now, you know, in scoring rate. The one thing that the thing about Lafreniere is that people often look at him as a playmaker, which I mean, he probably is. His playmaking ability is probably a lot more better than his shot and his offensive chances. But he can honestly just do anything. His shot's good enough to score every time he has the puck. His hockey IQ is good enough to play defense. His playmaking ability is insane. He's just a jack of all trades. He can do anything when he's on the ice. His compete level, you know, just makes him that much better. He wants to win every single time he's out there. And obviously, you know, most hockey players do, but his compete level, like, if he doesn't have the puck, he's going to find a way to get it. He wants the puck all the time on the stick. And obviously, you know, being number one on the list, it's kind of hard to find any knocks for his game. He's like pretty much like an all-around player. I mean, almost, I would say a perfect player because everybody has their knocks. But the one thing that I was able to, you know, kind of notice is that he has some flair, or like, I wouldn't say attitude issues, but he has been suspended before. He has been fined before in QJHL. He averages over like 1 penalty minute a game, which I mean is pretty high for an elite superstar, and not necessarily that's a bad thing. It's just, you know, you don't really want your superstar in the box though, all the time. Yeah, he's the best. He's gonna be the best player on the team. And you know, you don't want him in the box. But if he can get that in check with his skill set and natural talent, I'm sure he'll be a bona fide NHL star for years to come. I'm sure you'll see him be winning awards. I'm sure you'll see him, you know, being right up there for most points or, you know, things like that. But I honestly, there's really not much to knock on Lafreniere's game. So there's my top 10 rankings for the NHL 2020 draft, which I believe is October 6th. If, you know, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback and comments in the comment section below, or even if you want to message me on Twitter at SacrificeHidden or at AlexLango15. Regardless, I have 2 accounts. Sacrifice Hidden is the one I use for my YouTube. AlexLango15 is the one I use just talk in general. So wherever you guys want to use, go for it. I'd love to just have a conversation and, you know, talk about hockey. You know, just talk about the draft in general, what you guys think of my opinions, and, you know, like, again, my opinions, you guys have the right to your own. If you don't agree with them, that's completely fine with me. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making this one. This is probably one of my favorite ones to make. Just, you know, I was able to watch video, you know, do research on players and stuff like that, and I just love it. Obviously, my Senators pick number 3, 5, and number 28 in the draft, so I'm super stoked. I'm pretty much guaranteed at least 2 of these top 10 players, unless they go way up the board. But I'm just super stoked. So again, there's going to be a giveaway on this channel once it hits 100 subscribers. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is. I'm going to tell you once we get closer to that. But please, if you like this video and just, you know, want to see more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Let your friends know. You know, just send it to your friends, tell them to watch it. You know, even if you just want to leave it on the background, you don't really need to listen to me blabber on. But just, I really appreciate the support, and I really enjoy making these videos, and I want to be able to continue doing it. So, you know, like, subscribe, share. I do appreciate it. Stay tuned for my next video. Cheers.